President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed a thorough investigation into the alleged transfer of 585.189 million naira grant meant for vulnerable groups in Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Ogun, and Lagos states into a private account of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu. The president also promised to ensure that any breaches and infractions identified in the course of investigation are decisively punished. In a viral document signed by Edu and directed to the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, revealed that the minister directed the disbursement of 585.189 million naira into one Bridget Mojishola Oniyelu's private account. The leaked document revealed that the money was paid into Oniyelu's account. In a statement on Sunday, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said that government was aware of concerns raised by the public on the alleged fraud. He said that President Tinubu had directed that a comprehensive investigation be carried out into the matter and appropriate punishment meted out. The minister advised the public to shun unverified narratives as regards the matter and rely on the information from the ministry. Now, joining us via Zoom to discuss the development is Sunday Amos, founder, Clearview Integrity Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us on the news update.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you.
Same here. All right, now we've had the statement from the Minister of Information saying that the president has directed an investigation into this. What should Nigerians be expecting from this investigation?
Nigerians should not expect anything from this investigation. Nothing will come out of it. They will do the investigation and the usual silence will follow. Nothing will happen to the minister. Nobody's head will roll. And at the end of the day, they know that Nigerians will forget about it and life will continue. So, as far as I'm concerned, this whole talk about investigation is a media hype. And I believe that nothing, absolutely nothing is going to come out of it.
That's right. That's rather very pessimistic for you.
Yeah, it may be pessimistic, but it has historical antecedent. I'm a realist, my brother. 8 years of Buhari, there's nothing that we've not seen. There's nothing we did not hear. There is no level of corruption that we have not seen in the 8 years of Buhari. And it is the 8 years of Buhari that produced this particular government. And how did this government come to power? Through what electoral process? Was it clean? The kind of people that are now in government, is it a surprise? When you have even people like Ganduje as the national chairman of APC, despite all the antecedents. So APC, I'm sorry, I may be very pessimistic, but with the antecedents of APC government, I do not expect anything to come out of this investigation. And this is just one incident of somebody who violated the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not be caught. The ones that have not been exposed, I'm sure if we hear about it, this one may even be a child's play. So I may be pessimistic, but I will be happy to be proved wrong. Nothing will come out of it.
This is despite all assurances given by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that under him there will be a strict monitoring of all his lieutenants working with him, and that his administration is different. It's not going to tolerate any form of, indiscipline.
Well, my position is that of the proverbial African dog who was asked about the party taking place in their house. And the dog replied, I'm yet to see it on the ground. So all the promises, all the assurances, I'm yet to see any of them on the ground. So unless and until we begin to see this, I will do this, I will do that. Buhari kept saying, we will Till the last day, he kept, we will do this, we will do that. So it's not about assurances. The Tinubu should keep quiet and let us see it. Let the doing do the talking.
Okay, so
as long as we keep hearing the promises, until we see it on the ground, people like me will not believe that he will do anything about it, especially with his antecedents.
Okay, now where do you think that the administration should focus in terms of dealing with this kind of practices? I mean, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs is not the only ministry where this is happening. So where should the energy be focused, really? And if there's a committee to investigate this, where should they be focusing on to ensure that all loopholes that encourage such practices are blocked?
First and foremost, there is no need for any committee to investigate anything. We have sufficient anti-corruption bodies who are vested with these responsibilities. The EFCC is there, the ICPC is there, the Code of Conduct Bureau is there. What is the need to set up another committee? Let these bodies do their statutory work, and if they are serious about doing this work, these organizations should be able to handle this effectively and efficiently. But the mere fact that you see them leaving the EFCC and the IPC and setting up one amorphous committee like that, then you can be sure that the whole aim is to push everything under the carpet and they will keep quiet. And you know, in the previous years, my brother, the appointment of who heads the EFCC and the ICPC, you know, leaves much to be desired, because at the end of the day, if the president tells you don't go there, they will not go there. If the president says leave this, they will leave this. They have rendered EFCC and ICPC toothless bulldogs that they cannot do anything. So if we are serious about fighting corruption, then the independence of the EFCC and the independence of the ICPC and all the other anti-corruption bodies should be guaranteed. But this is not the case. The president holds the key to everything. So setting up a committee when we have these statutory bodies, for me, doesn't make any sense. So if the government is serious about fighting corruption, let the EFCC, the ICPC, and the CCB do their work, and let us see the results on the ground. But you are seeing the minister is even confident to say all the allegations are against her are just babas. She's even having confidence to talk back despite this matter being leaked to the public. It tells you the level of impunity that is even in this government.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Again, my outlook may seem very pessimistic, but my outlook is rooted in history in this APC government.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sunday Amos, founder, Clearview Integrity Foundation. We appreciate your inputs on this issue.
It's been a pleasure. Happy New Year again to all.
All right. Meanwhile, the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center has asked the federal government and anti-graft agencies to fish out the alleged accomplices of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, and her predecessor, Sadiya Farouk. According to CISLAC Executive Director Awal Rafsanjani, it was pathetic that a ministry that should be sympathetic to the citizens was caught in the web of alleged funds diversions. He called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to carry out sweeping reforms within ministries, departments and agencies, stressing that alleged diversions of funds weren't restricted to the humanitarian ministry. The rights activist lauded the federal government for probing the minister and her predecessor, saying that the new administration must take the probes seriously because the country was broke and needed money. The Nigerian Air Force says its airstrikes have neutralized terrorists at Parisu, a location near Sambisa Forest, with similar strikes killing insurgents at Tumbung Agiri within the Tumbuns in the Lake Chad region. NAF, in a statement on Sunday, said that the feat followed efforts by the air and ground components of Operation Hadinkai in Borno State, northeast Nigeria. While the Parisu operation was carried out on January 5, 2024, that of the Lake Chad region was carried out on January 6, 2024, according to NAF spokesman Edward Gabwet. At Parisu, NAF said that 12 terrorists were neutralized in the strike and their the logistics destroyed, thereby degrading their ability to attack soft targets and own troops. For the Lake Chad region, NAF said that the precision strikes on the location led to the destruction of vehicles, motorcycles, as well as elimination of several terrorists. Communities in the Musa local government area of Katsina State are lamenting over the unbearable living conditions occasioned by activities of bandits in the area. Locals around Maidabino town who are living with the bandits said that they are being treated as slaves and forced to pay levies at a time they have been disposed of all their belongings. Abdullahi Amadi tells us more.
Well, as it is now, residents are saying many of the elderly among them are dying from hunger, with their children and women malnourished, a situation escalating the insecurity in the area. And of course, they are calling on the political actors to, as a matter of urgency, salvage the situation. And at the moment, residents of Maidabino and environs have been dispossessed of all their belongings with no means of livelihood, forcing them to remain indoors except for a few days when they are escorted by the military personnel to either Entomaki or the Musa market to buy some basic necessities. And for the women and children who escaped last Friday's attack, it is still not clear as to whether they are with the bandits or not, as most of them have not returned to the town, leaving the residents in fear. Though an anonymous resident of Maidabino town said terrorists carrying dangerous weapons were seen moving freely on motorcycles without hindrance, humiliating and enslaving locals. He, however, acknowledged noticing military presence Sunday morning with many moving towards Hugu Forest, where most of the bandits are hibernating. And it could be recalled that the bandits ambushed a convoy of 20 vehicles conveying traders to Entomaki Market Friday morning, killing 8, with many still missing up to the time of compiling this report. And the traders were attacked even when they were accompanied by security operatives. And to many, it shows the confidence and the superiority of the fearless bandits and the way they operate. As for the 5 women abducted from Dang Ali town in the same Damusa local government area Friday night, their whereabouts is yet to be known. Residents are still waiting for the bandits to call and make their demands. Elsewhere, at a location near Zandam in Jibia local government area, residents announced that they are seeing bandits regrouping since Friday and Saturday, maybe planning some attacks. As our source said, the place has been a usual meeting point for the terrorists. More so, another source in Jibia said they are aware of the bandits' movement and they are making all efforts with the little resources available to them and with the support of the police, military, and the local vigilantes to defend their own towns of Jibia and Magama. But to many people are saying the deteriorating insecurity these days is largely due to the activities of local security volunteer groups, locally known as Yansakai, who are always on the rampage, killing anyone suspected to be a Fulani man, especially in the insecurity-compromised communities of Katsina State, causing more social and economic dislocations. And people may wish to recall this same group was sometimes during the previous administration of Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari proscribed as an illegal organization. But yet, they still operate in our local communities here in Katsina.
The federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with Saudi Arabia to ensure a seamless Hajj in 2024. The MOU was signed in Jeddah on Sunday in the presence of Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister, Yusuf Tugar, and the acting chairman and chief executive officer of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Jalal Arabi. NACON's Assistant Director of Public Affairs, Fatima Usara, disclosed this in a statement on Sunday. The move followed reports that Nigerian pilgrims face numerous challenges, including lack of adequate tent accommodation at Mina and Arafat, substandard tents with unhealthy living conditions and environment, lack of proper medical attention to pilgrims in cases of emergency, and lack of proper transportation, among others, in 2023. The House of Representatives ordered a probe into the matter and also mandated the Committee on Pilgrims' Affairs, when constituted, to conduct a detailed investigation into the several anomalies that emanated from the 2023 Hajj and report back to the House within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The MOU stakeholders believe will address noticeable lapses in last year's exercise and give Nigerian pilgrims a memorable experience in Saudi Arabia. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the Ebonyi State governorship election appeal to a date that will be communicated to parties later. Justice John Okoro reserved the judgment after parties adopted their briefs of argument on Monday. The Court of Appeal Lagos had earlier affirmed the election of Francis Nwifuru as duly elected governor of Ebonyi State. In a unanimous decision, the three-member panel led by Justice Jummai Sankey dismissed the appeal filed by Chukwuma Odi of the People's Democratic Party. The panel also resolved all 5 issues raised against the appellant and dismissed the appeal for lacking in merit. Justice Sankey held that the PDP and its candidate lacked the legal right to meddle in the internal affairs of the All Progressives Congress as it relates to the nomination of candidates. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Are tribal marks disfiguring or for beauty and identity? Find out after the break. Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Here's a reminder of our top stories. President Tinubu orders investigation of Betta Edu, vows to punish infractions. Plus, NAF airstrikes eliminate terrorists near Sambisa and Lake Chad. In other news, the National Inland Waterways Authority has said that the boat accident at Umumu, Anam in Anambra West local government area of Anambra State occurred because the wooden engine rammed into a snag on the water channel and capsized. The authority disclosed that about 50 passengers were on board, adding that 8 persons were confirmed dead at the scene, while 38 others were rescued immediately. A statement signed by the General Manager, Corporate Affairs, NIWA, Jibril Dao, on Sunday said that the incident involved a passenger boat traveling from Ida in Kogi State to Onitsha in Anambra State. Although he said that the incident occurred between Thursday and Friday, the bodies of the victims, mainly women and children, were recovered on Sunday morning. It also noted that while recovery efforts were still ongoing, the authority will provide detailed information to the public as soon as the field officers report back to the headquarters. Operatives of the Edo State Police Command have arrested Mudia Bakeri and Ohehe Osasere for their alleged involvement in cultism. Speaking with journalists on the arrest, the command's spokesperson, Chidi Nwabuzo, said that the suspects were apprehended at a hotel following credible intelligence. Nwabuzo said that the suspects have confessed to being members of Black Axe Confraternity and will soon be charged to court. In a related development, the Edo police spokesperson said that the police have also rescued 4 kidnapped victims from kidnappers' den. Nwabuzo identified the victims as Robert Blessing, Kingsley Peter, Doris Okolduga, and Godwin Gideon. He said that the victims were rescued in a forest in Ugboha, Esa Southeast local government area of the state. Now, tribal marks have traditionally been seen as a way of authenticating one's identity as a member of a particular tribe in the African continent. The facial marks are carved in different patterns and styles peculiar to a tribe. They are also considered a symbol of beauty and a rite of passage in some communities. However, the tradition is almost obsolete in many communities. Hassan Lawan Kohli reports.
Tribal marks are permanent facial or body marks that have been part of various African cultures, including Nigeria. The practice have spanned for generations. These marks are often unique to specific ethnic groups and are believed to represent tribal identity, beauty, and social status.
Zane al'ada ne, al'adu ne na gargajiya na baya can da ake yi.
Tribal marks are sanctuary-esque traditions. It is a way of recognizing the tribe, clans, and family members without even asking a person which tribe he belongs to.
Wannan ba Babure ne, wannan ba Sokoto ne, wannan ba Gobiri ne, wanda daga zanen shine ake bambanta kabilu.
It is quite unfortunate that globalization, together with modern child care systems, threatens these ancient traditions. In recent years, the practice of tribal marks have faced increasing scrutiny. Many argue that it infringes on individuals' right to make choices about their own bodies, while others point out that it can have physical and emotional consequences for those who bear these marks.
Having a tribal mark, to my own understanding, can even, that's what used to lead us to tribalism and ethnic crisis. Because it's true, maybe I can be able to have a relationship with you, not knowing that you are from so tribe. But as far as I saw you with a tribal mark, it's easily for me to identify that you are not from my tribe. So as you start grooming something like ethnocentrism, that yes, my ethnic group is more superior than your own.
We have tribal marks, but we cannot let our younger ones or our children to have it. It is all tradition that need to be abandoned. While they continue to hold cultural significance for many, there is a growing recognition of the need to protect individuals' rights and well-being. Many African countries have taken steps to discourage the practice of tribal marks. Hassan Lawan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Away from Nigeria, a new list published by Ishikawa Prefecture in central Japan on Monday showed that the number of missing people from the earthquake that hit Japan has soared from 31 to 281 in Wajima, one of the worst hit places where the quake flattened dozens of houses and a major fire devastated a large area. A heavy dumping of snow, meanwhile, complicated relief efforts a week after the 7.5 magnitude quake, with more than 2,000 people still cut off and many others lacking power or forced to take shelter in crowded emergency sites. Days of rain increased the risk of further landslides, while the fresh heavy snow, more than 10 centimeters, 4 inches in the places, could cause more buildings to collapse under its weight, the regional government warned. Around 18,000 households in the Ishikawa region remained without electricity on Monday, while more than 66,100 households were without water on Sunday. Now, Japanese authorities have warned the weight of the snow could cause more buildings to collapse in the earthquake-hit areas. The first priority has been to rescue people under the rubble and to reach isolated communities, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida told NHK on Sunday. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba. Ilya, thanks for watching.